Bonsoir, good evening, peoples, and as you can see here, last time we reached 5 cup. So until then, in order to be promoted 4th cup, we will need to win like 7 games. So that's becoming to be a lot to gain a league within only one stream, because if we lose a game, that would need like 9 games at all. So I don't know, maybe I don't know how long I will play. I think at least 5 games, and we'll try to do the best, and I will play a bit more focused that I used to play. I'll try to do that. Alright, and we're beginning with Cho, with inner elephants against side elephants. So let's open up. And we play against 4 cup, which is approximately the same, and close to 2000 elo, which is becomes to be good, and we are like exactly the same elo. So he went for early, yeah, it works, elephant play in order to try to grab this pawn. But for now, we will simply concentrate mainly on the center, and at the same time playing with the elephant may provide a fork with the pawns. So yeah, as you can see, he goes for taking the pawn, but the counterpart is that if I check here and he brings the cannon, that will be lost, so he has to play something different. And now that's my second account. On my main account I'm 8 dan on a few games. I haven't reached 9 dan yet, but soon. Okay, I will give that possibility, but use some counter plays on. Of course, he goes for pinning the knight in first place. I don't like so much my position. I guess I messed up something because yeah. I'm losing a lot on that side of the board. So actually nothing forced me to take and take back, that would simply need to lose a pawn, and I think I prefer to keep the structure aligned and at some point exchange the elephant for the guard. That's not good for long term, but since I don't open play inner elephant in openings, so I will try to go for something a bit more aggressive. I'm not even sure I want to take that back. Okay, I do. I was thinking about bringing the cannon here in order to make this one jump and being annoying, but if I did something else, then the elephant could simply take the knight, and that's what I wanted to avoid. So, of course, I will bring that cannon and get some pressure, but that's not the moment. I prefer develop my rook just before. And yeah. Now get some play with the cannon. He may likely bring back a cannon, yeah, this one or this one to the center. I think this one would have been better because this has not so much play, and that would have still give the square for that cannon to go here. So I will bring the king back if I check with the cannon, but that's a way to activate it before simply threatening the knight. The rook defend. They could go for this, but I'm not sure this is the best idea, because on rook check he has to bring a piece here. So now if I check with yeah, that's not check, but if I bring the cannon, then there is he's kind of locked on that file, which is a weak file for him. Okay, and we kind of use that cannon to let this one go, and it's better to bring back on the very last line, because that protects check from rooks in the back rank, and also since the guard is there, there is the same threats on the line. So that's better to bring the cannon in the very last rank, if possible. And the king is looking for a bit of safety, but the problem is that if the king goes here, then the cannon cannot come back, and we now simply can double the rook on the locked elephant, and the elephant was locked because of rook check. So he is not able to defend anymore since he had to defend. Bringing the rook here is not very bothering. Now we need to take the elephant right now, otherwise he simply closes the position. Okay, so the score is kind of a bit more balanced, and considering the very first score, it's like I have gain a point, but still I'm half a point behind because of the beginning bonus. And in the piece structure, that's kind of different because I play with elephants while he plays with pawns. I have to mind like my rook not being trapped. And I will get some solidity for and space for the cannon. As you can see here, the elephant kind of, the cannon kind of protects, but the idea is to bring the cannon here to provide check, and the elephant has no like good squares to leave. So that would be check, king here, and a rook checkmate, which is not great. Okay, I don't like so much the way I am defending this, because I have to come back to the center, but then if my king goes back to the center, I may be able to bring the cannon back to defend. Still before he goes for cannon here, and then maybe a discovery on the elephant at some point, but that's not a big deal. And it's time to remove some pieces from that last row, and also that prevents the pawn from being linked. So for example, if I threaten this pawn, it may have to go here, and after I could, for example, jump with the cannon there and put some pressure here. So that's idea just that may be played, but I'm not sure how I will consider that. Okay.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Not sure about this. I may have another idea to sacrifice the cannon in order to have a discover check with the knight, but I will exchange the elephant, and once you take with the cannon here, then you are pinned, because if you move the cannon, you lose the rook, so you have to move the rook before. So that's changing an elephant for a pawn, but I will be able, when my cannon is here, to come back and reposition the cannon where I want. If my cannon was there, then, for example, he could have checked by jumping here, and the rook would have not been pinned. So that's a detail to pay attention, but since the cannon is directly next to the king, there's no way for him to jump in between. Okay, that's a necessary unpin for him.
(10초) 남았습니다.
I will come back to the third rank, because that square is important, I think. I couldn't go here. So this knight has like no great squares, and it's also blocking that knight from having some better squares. Okay, and the defense that is likely to happen is cannon here if, for example, I bring my own cannon to that place. So I will bring my cannon here, so that if he comes back to the center, then I'm not afraid with my rook. And right now we may have a big majority of piece to that side of the board, but that will take a long time to go. But still we have to ensure that there's
10초
no
남았습니다.
big weakness before pushing, and I think that, yeah, we can simply push. I prefer to push this pawn before, because if my rook has to go back somewhere, it still has 2 squares, while if it was here, that would have not been the case. So he simply unpinned the cannon. He may go back here. But I will secure the linking of the pawns, and if the rook goes here, then our elephant is already protected, and if there is a sacrifice, we can simply take back here. So the question right now could be, is it a good idea to exchange the rooks, considering that I don't have
10초 남았습니다.
the same amount of points? And yeah, I think I will go for it, because that elephant may have some play at some point. The idea of that move is at first to prevent the elephant from check if he is able to reach the square, and also to give some play for the cannon. That's always good to increase the mobilities.
10초 남았습니다.
Right, so there's no big deal if the cannon reaches one of those squares, and even if it come back. And right now, if he takes, there is directly a little fork. Still, it's questionable to exchange a knight for a cannon, because, okay, that's 2 bonus points, but the knight is way better in those kind of endgames. It will depend, but see, let's take, maybe let's take that. Yeah, that's better, because that blocks the threat, and there is also a threat, so he has to defend with knight here to the center in order to protect the pawn and to remove the threat from the cannon. But still, the elephant may take, and I simply trying to make sure that my cannon is not dead if I take, and yeah, knight here would kill the cannon if elephant takes.
10초 남았습니다.
So the best maybe right now to sacrifice the cannon for a knight and take the pawn after, so that is 7 points for 7 points, but still having the pair of knight is way better than the cannon. And also, as you can see, I only have 1 guard, and here, since there is not so much rooks in the play, that's not a big problem to play with 1 knight only.
(10초) 남았습니다.
The elephant is threatened, but of course the cannon also, so the knight has to go here. If the knight was going here, then I could kind of close the position and force the knight to retreat somewhere. And right now... I still can close the position because the knight is not attacking anymore and our cannon is defending. Of course, if cannon sacrifice and knight takes, we have to check that our cannon is not directly threatened and has a way to go back. So that's giving a pawn, but I'm not sure if it's a poison pawn or not. Doesn't look like at first sight. But he may simply push and the cannon will be out of play, but the knight will have a lot of trouble coming back, so yeah, I will go for it. And if he pawn simply threaten, then the cannon goes back, so that's knight check, and yeah, that's a kind of annoying fork here. This one, I missed that. And the best is very likely to come back. Yeah. Since my cannon is on that file and if it threatens, he may go here. I have no reason for bringing my king here because that would be knight check. Not sure that was a great move because, yeah. Okay, I will give the pawn. And the counterpart is that for now the cannon is pinned, so okay. Hello. Cannon takes, knight takes, so that's not a big deal. And that's time to bring this knight into action. Have to be careful because we lost the support of both knights, which is very solid. But we may try to recreate it somewhere. Still, my idea is more to pin that cannon. Threaten this cannon with the potential threat. here. Yeah, otherwise knight takes cannon and then cannon takes knights, but he saw this one.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Not sure about that. It's to bring another knight. But he may simply threaten the elephant. And in that case, I can come back here or go to the same square. But I think going here will provide more activity for the elephant. Okay, so he goes to unpin the cannon. Let's check. So he has to come back or try to go to this place that may be dangerous. So he decides to come back. And right now I may simply attack the same cannon with my other knight. That's good because that knight was potentially weak. That also removes a square here, and if the elephant is threatened, of course the elephant won't be able to go here. Oh, I missed that, but that's not a big deal because he cannot take here, so he has to take with this one, and if he takes with this one, then the cannon has no way to jump back. Yeah. Still, I am half a point behind, and if one of us reach 10 or less than 10 points, then it's a lost game.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Okay, we go for the repetition and force him to play something else. It will be complicated because the cannon is not so great in that situation. Okay. I will bring back the knight into the play. And try to exchange a guard for a pawn. Okay, it's a small threat, but if he forgets, then we may win. My big concern is that the cannon and the pawn worth only 9 points, so the game would stop if we exchange the knights. And still, if we exchange the knight, I think I would be able in the end to exchange a pawn for a guard and then take the lead, but the game won't allow me to do this.
(10초) 남았습니다.
I need to make sure that my cannon can go somewhere if it's threatened by the knight. Okay, he passed the move, so if I pass, the game simply stops and we count the point, but if I continue to play, then the game goes on. But that's meaning that he doesn't expect to improve his position, so that's actually my turn to try to find something. May not have been so good. Okay, so he's fleeing back. And if I... Right. There is a check here, but the fork doesn't work because it's protected by my knight. And he goes for the aggression. I'm not sure there is a way to do anything for me.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Knight check. It's not a very enjoyable situation. Check, okay. Time to go to the center. If I take, okay. I think he lost the game on that. I simply need to protect my cannon from being checked by the knight.
(10초) 남았습니다.
But apart from that... Oh.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Yeah. I think I'm lost because of the point system. Oh no, I can. If 964, then he could. Yeah, 964 was working. That works also. Not great, but it's very annoying with this knight. Okay. Alright, so the king won't be checked and the cannon has some play. You may also see that... Alright, so now the knight covers the pawn and the knight will never be attacked by the other knight. But you may also notice that we are 150 moves and the game will stop at 200 moves. Okay, knight here is covered by the knight. He may check here, but I simply go to the center and I will be able to bring my cannon out of the action and kind of swap some tempos. I could have passed also. Simply make sure that I don't blunder. Yeah, I can check. That's just to gain a tempo, but I will come back here after that. My plan is not to threaten anything and check, simply to wait. I really don't know what he may intend, so how to pass here? Yes. Check, goes to the corner. Whatever, I may jump here with the cannon, so the game is actually over right now. Check here, doesn't care. Knight here. Okay, but there's no pawn, so I don't need my cannon here, especially it's great where it is. Check, goes to the corner. Okay, 25 moves, I don't know. Knight here. Okay, let's go like at a very different place. You may play the knight here, but there's no real deal. Sorry, that's a bit boring, but that's the game. Ten moves to wait. That should be okay. Okay. And now he simply plays a move and that's over. So that was the longest game I think we did on the channel, but the end was not very interesting. There was some interesting situation in the middle game. I missed a move with the cannon, but that was yeah, different styles. So we are playing against a 5 cup and with a kind of lower halo that the previous had. So let's go for that. Thanks. Not the greatest win because actually he simply gave a pawn here in the fortress, and otherwise he was in a better situation. But that's a win. To win a game you have to be focused at until the very end. Right. We have to be careful about cannon that may go here. And of course the rook cannot go to 61 because of the elephant. Okay. And here, if nothing happens, as you can see, he has the free file here. I have this one, but mine is kind of controlled. And I think he should have gone for rook here, because I simply can jump with this cannon and deny that file. Because if knight pawn here check, then I simply move back my other cannon and it's denied. Yeah. Like I said, I won't move the elephant, it would be too generous, but I can deny the file this way, and I have been able, like this, to kind of activate better both of my cannons. And here, the small difference is that when I come back here, I have a double threat here, so he cannot simply bring the rook back in that situation. And then I will be able to gain control of that file, and that may provide interesting squares, depend if he brings the cannon here at some point. But before that he has to consider the double threat by the cannon and the elephant. And something like not useful for right now, but since he's thinking, in those situations when there is the two pawns like this and you have a free rook, sorry, that's not erasing. Yep. Okay, you may try to take this, because if he takes with the knight you simply take and get a free pawn, I mean 2 pawn for an elephant, and if he takes with the pawn then you get the file. Of course the file is not useful right now, but that's something that may be interesting to consider. Yep, see you. So he didn't mind the double threat, so elephant takes, pawn takes, cannon takes, and what may happen is, for example, cannon takes, because the knight will be able to enter in the play. Since, am I interesting? Yeah, I could go for something defensive move. Okay, before I will try to bring my rook here. would be great, like check and go here. So his best move, yeah, is to bring the cannon so that the knight covers that part. Check. Yeah. He may do the same actually. Or take here, since he has the rook. But remember that this is not protected anymore, even if there may be a cannon. So if we calculate closely what may or may not happen, that should be okay. So what I have in my mind is pawn takes, cannon takes, knight, cannon takes elephant, pawn takes, knight takes. And cannon takes elephant. And if cannon takes here, threatening the rook, then the cannon goes back and that's check. That may be a bit complicated to follow with all those moves and arrows, but that's what may happen. Okay, so the good news is that the cannon here is pinned, so this cannon won't be bothered right now. Takes, and yeah, exactly, bringing the rook to exchange that not so active rook against this one. I may have kept the pinning before and exchange after. I think, yeah, that maybe that was a bit better. You could go for check here, but knight backs, elephant takes. Okay, and now we may probably see some defense move, also to activate the cannon on my king, to unpin this cannon. Knight here, threatening to bring the knight to that position. And if the pawn goes here, which is possible now, the cannon still has a square, so let's protect this. And there is something way more dangerous, and it's rook here, and that's completely game over if he miss that move. Even if he goes for pawn here, I simply rook there, and that's over, because there's no way to cover the cannon, and there's no way to defend it with something else, and no way to put something here since there is no pawn anymore, and the only piece that may go is the knight, but simply rook takes knight. So he has to process this move. He cannot go with the knight directly because I simply take with the cannon. Okay, so that's a solution that not sure works so much. because if I bring the rook here, we'll have two people and he will bring a pawn. If there was only one piece here, I mean like nothing, I could rook takes and that would have been a pin. So the idea is probably to sacrifice the elephant like check, and after bringing the rook, because he cannot unpin, and if he goes back here with the king, I simply bring the knight. '69, '66. The problem is that he brings the pawn here. Now we go. Check. And if pawn here, simply rook here. Right, so now he may go for cannon here. That's a possibility that doesn't work. He cannot go somewhere, and if he brings something, that's not a big deal because it's already pinned. And if he goes back with the king, I simply bring my knight so that supports, and boom, knight takes cannon. Okay, likely to bring the king here in order to pin, because okay, so that check and I take the rook. No, that's check and he brings the knight here, and that's check for me. And I lose the rook. That's a major difference. Okay, and if knight takes rook, how he could even take my cannon. Yeah, could take the cannon, it was even better. Sorry, just was focusing on the rook and the fact that if the knight moves, yeah, knight here would have been killing. Exact. Yeah, that's a good idea because it will defend if I try to exchange the rook, but still he may be hanging a knight. And the other
10초 남았습니다.
good thing is that the cannon has to come back, and that knight wouldn't be threatened anymore. Alright, so rook takes, cannon takes, knight check because of the cannon, and I have this knight for free. That's something possible. Yeah, but it takes back the cannon and I take the pawn. I could have cannon takes here. That would be better in terms of points, but whatever, I prefer to exchange my cannon for the knight and the pawn. And I think that's pretty over because I have already a better score, and what's different is that I have only one guard and he has two, and in those kind of finals the guard is not like the most important piece, so it's like if I play on the board with 3 more points of pieces, and that will be easier to defend and whatever. And what's good is that even if I give my cannon for a knight, I'm still ahead in terms of points lead, so everything's great. The cannon has 0 square, so I might set... oh no, the cannon can, sorry, jump over the king. So if, for example, the knight goes here, I simply completely neglect what happens. And then cannon could also check here. Right, let's simply bring back the pawns to the center. That was the main idea of the knight move. Alright, simply need to check that there is no no way that a knight is blocked. But still, I think there is a lot of moves that will be played before the end. So does he go for the 2 sides lanes or the central one? Okay. Ooh, pawn push, knight here, that's the only move, knight takes. I should have been more careful when my knight arrives here, because there was already a closing here, a closing here, a pawn here that is guarding a lot of squares, and the knight was actually already into action, so yeah, those kind of finals, I think he was about to lose it, but I could have stayed a long time, but still need to be careful, especially of trapping the knight that I was considering for myself, but in the end it was his knight that was trapped. And that was a more elegant victory than the last game, and a more deserved one. Alright, and now we are with Han, finally. We are close to 2000 Elo points, and we are playing against a 5 cup, kind of stable. And he goes for right side elephant. So the idea is not to open that fight because it may be quickly dangerous, but rather take the center. And the common strategy is to go with the knight, this knight in the center, it may have a kind of forks. Here it doesn't work, but if some material moves out and leave the elephant for, I would say, quite a long time in the end. But this elephant is playing a very important role here, and so we may kind of activate this rook here, or maybe here. It will depend, and we can rely on our elephant. I don't want the rook to arrive to that square, because after that the elephant is coming and there is the double threat, which is not so easy to stop. So right now if the rook goes here, the pawn goes here and is very supported. And at the same time that kind of also blocks the elephant if the elephant decides to move. So black goes for a defending move. And before that, before kind of castling, I will hide my I will develop my knight. So castling, that's the term from Occidental chess, which means exchanging the king and the rook, like two very important protection move. I'm not sure that those moves within the fortress could be named as castling, but since there is not so many English notation, I can use whatever I want. Okay. And here when you are with red, you have not so much interest to like exchange and push your pawns. You simply build something strong, and at the very end maybe push if you are sure that there is something winning after that. May go for knight here. Okay, I don't know why he did resign, because was like, for example, defending and take, elephant takes. I don't take with the type, I can show you. For example, rook here, yeah, not GG, that's, I don't know why he resigned. Right here, continuing to castle, knight takes, and I don't take with the knight because I want to use this knight as a support for this cannon to go to the center. So elephant takes, I don't know, he may finish to castle, and here the cannon may go here or here. There is a slightly better choice for this column because it can swap here and here, but there was like no reason to resign for him at that point. Okay, not the greatest game, but at least it was a short one. I don't know if I goes for a center or opposite. Okay, I will go for a center elephant again. Boom, and that's my time to open. Okay. It's kind of a weird opening he's playing because yeah, there is a fork to do and he still hasn't controlled that. So boom takes, pawn takes, elephant check. That's a fork but not working because there is a knight, and on the other side that's pinning the cannon. Trying to check if it's worth it. I'm interested about cannon here or cannon takes. '85, 55, yeah? You think you want to go for the sacrifice? Okay, let's go. That's fine for me. Before simply taking the pawn, this little move that activates the cannon way back, maybe gaining a rook, and if he goes for defending like that, that won't be working properly, because if he brings a piece, I simply can check, takes. No, it does work. I mean, not so good. But here, since we took that pawn, there is a new threat. Yeah, that was to bring back the cannon, kind of close the rook with the elephant here, but that's not on the table anymore. That's yeah, very weird game because it's very asymmetric. Of course, I cannot move the rook because otherwise the knight is dead. I'm bringing the knight to that square and not this one, because that still gives me more mobility for this cannon, and whatever I think it will reach this square sooner or later. Okay, since the place is free, okay, small discovery threat. Check, knight takes, knight moves, sorry, or rook moves, but after that my elephant is not in such a great position. No, that's okay. Because our rook is protecting, then we can do that. 79.56. Yeah, it was working, but I had to consider all of this. And here I may jump back to that square to keep the elephant. Or pushing trade the other cannon. And it's a bit more aggressive here, because I may push and that will be a double discovery. So he has to move the knight if he doesn't want, or he may push. But the knight has no like great squares, so he has to retreat, and that may actually block the elephant. Alright, so... Oh, okay. I don't know how much delay there is between the stream and whatever. I think that was a way better square to go. So, knight takes or pawn takes. Let's get some play for the knight. And okay, so that's not such a solid structure to defend the cannon with another one, because that piece is pinned, and if something happens here, then it's blocked. There is nothing that can be brought here. I mean, with two protection, for example, if the pawn is here, that's better, because if the elephant goes there, then my rook has to move. But that's not the case yet. Check. For example, the knight cannot come back here, otherwise I simply take the cannon, since there is like no fork and nothing else after. Alright, so this is quite awkward for red. No, I won't take. There's no interest to do so, but better than this. So, which knight is better to use?
10초 남았습니다.
I think this one, because this elephant may not move between a long time, and it was protected. So the pawn was actually dead because the cannon was threatening, and there is two, and there is like nothing that can reach the middle. So knight takes. Yeah, great. The elephant is covering, of course, and even if it wasn't, the possibilities are beginning to become very annoying.
(10초) 남았습니다.
So the rook is certain, but knight takes, pawn takes, guard takes. cannon takes, and now the cannon are lost. 56, 37.
10초 남았습니다.
If 36, 37, he could simply take with, yeah, well, I could have. Oops, sorry, I won't lose by time. Okay, threatening this. He may try to go here to gain some access, but he has no like cannon supporting, and I may retreat the elephant to lock the column. But once the elephant is retreated, since the pawn is here, he won't be able to the game, and I don't care because I was planning to sacrifice.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Okay, so he will defend with a rook. No, okay. Cannon takes. Okay, rook check. King here, and even if the cannon may one day reach, this rook will be out of position for defending. I may lock it into my side, and there is not enough counterparts, so yeah, I take the cannon, and that was the problem of defending. He should have gone with a rook here to threaten and protect, but defending those kind of game with elephants with only one guard and the cannon out of position, that's very hard. And that simply brings nothing, that check. Okay, there's something fancy to look for.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Not really. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's the panic timer. I shouldn't make those kind of mistakes. I missed it also, which is interesting, and the counterpart is that I will have to give up this elephant, but that's okay. Yeah, that's, let's say, a streaming mistakes. Okay, he wants to check and see what happens. He should have taken the elephant. The problem is that I simply bring the rook, and if he moves somewhere, then it's directly a checkmate. So he has to cover with the rook. That's the only move he can play. Oh, and I will go for something quite funny after that. Oh no, yeah, but that's probably not a great idea, because the cannon is here. So rook takes, knight takes, checkmate. Alright, except one like stupid mistake. What should I have done at this point? I had no emergency to retreat the cannon. I could simply go for, yeah, rook here and after cannon goes back. That would have been the way to play it. And yeah, the sacrifice before gave a lot of asymmetry in the game, and we also had the control of that side of the board. So the other idea was, yeah, could have been not to sacrifice, but simply to go for locking that column directly. But the counterpart is that that knight would have remained in the center, and of course I could have played, but that would have been like a different games. I think we were in a better situation in both games, but that's more straightforward and exciting to stream and to follow, I guess. Okay, let's continue. And again, back to Han. And we're 32, not so many games played. And we are, yeah, we are better than 2000 Elo right now. So inner elephants, let's go for the opposition. Okay, I will keep the opposition. Covering this square, because if the knight goes here there may have been trouble. Okay, what if cannon take the file? Knight check. Elephant takes. Okay, I'm not sure that's a good move, but I like it, so I will go for this. Okay, didn't consider maybe bringing something. Okay, I thought he would like play knight here. I'm very bad in Korean, so I'm afraid I won't be able to answer that question unless someone is able to translate that. Janggi가 재밌나요? Probably. sorry, don't speak Korean. Alright, let's give a support for this cannon. Okay, and as we said, with Han, there's no need to push so much. Oh, so that was the idea. Cannon takes. Nope. Yeah, it is. Okay, I have to let that pawn go. But. Let's see. Knight check. The risk is that the knight is simply dead close in the corner, so he will go back here. Now the rook threaten, and that gives. Yeah. Alright, as you can see, he bring back the knight. He left that square, so there is only like 2 pieces and the cannon. So if I am able to remove a piece from here, then there will be only the pawn, so that the cannon will be pinned. So elephant check. And now the cannon is pinned, so but can goes back with the knight. No, I kind of messed up that combination. That would have been more annoying if he was going with the other knight, but I will take it as it is. Yeah, that's what you wanted to see. Okay, trying to push in order to force the cannon to retreat, and if for example he plays elephant here, then the knight is dead. And if knight here, there is only we can do the same. Elephant takes and rook takes cannon. So this is I would say safe. Okay, so he retreats, and let's try something funny, because that's a checkmate in 4 if he plays nothing. Take, take, take. The way to oppose is that elephant sacrifice, and there is one piece, and rook takes checkmate. But I think he won't fall in that trap. When you are like this with the cannon and an elephant here and the king is here, you can always think that this piece will can go out and can be used to play something else, but that won't work. I will buy some more time because I think that's the best thing to do. The sacrifice is not working anymore, sadly. Takes, pawn takes, elephant check. It's a fork, so he has to take, and rook takes. Okay, let's try this. I'm a bit concerned by knight here at some point, but and what's good is that the elephant is providing check and forking, otherwise he could simply unpin. So that's 2 cannons for a pawn and a rook. No, sorry, 2 cannon and a pawn for an elephant and a rook, which is exactly the same score. I think he should have taken this, that was free. The best move is to bring back this squad. That's kind of annoying because I need to retreat the rook. I cannot leave the rook, I cannot sacrifice the cannon because he may take the rook in diagonal. Okay, what if we sacrifice? Elephant takes what? Elephant was... but the knight was covering the rook. Sorry, the knight was covering the rook like this. That's... Okay, that's... I may check after what you meant, because I 86. I may check that after. Like 86? Okay. Oh, for him. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. That was way better. I messed up this one. Yeah. Elephant takes, and there was like nothing to hope. Uh, this one is useful if the knight comes here. So I play this rook here because I'm able to pin this. Alright, so not in a great position to develop. Okay. I push because now the knight covers, but I'm afraid that the rook, yeah, enters the game at some point. So if I'm going with this knight, then the knight may go here, and do I care about this? Okay. 16, 13, yeah, my idea is to recycle the cannon here, and I may jump back with the knight, and rook cannot take because that will be an overprotection, and of course I'm not interested by exchanging the rook, and I prefer to keep the pressure here because this is going to join the party. Okay. We retreat kind of the knight. And at some point I will have to try to hide this cannon, but it can be quickly threatened by a knight, and I don't want to exchange it for a knight in that situation, because I can get the advantage that he has no cannon to defend. So that's not great because it's already defended and it was the move he played before, and if the knight goes here then I take, and the cannon cannot be removed by anything else. So right now, is it time to push here? Yes. No, we still have time, and it's better to prepare what will happen after. Okay, elephant here may be annoying because knight there then is not blocked by this. Oh, it was kind of should haven't gone for the king here. Oh, thanks. He should have gone for a knight. I may be able to save the day because if the cannon goes here and the knight are not protecting, then there is a knight for free. But this knight is pinned and is used support. Okay, I am glad that he played that move. That was the one I hoped for. So this knight is covered. Okay, that's no, that's a win because of time. So in that situation he had of course to play the rook, otherwise it's not great. There is not so many squares because this is not possible. This is a bad square, like for example rook here. I simply take the knight and of course he cannot take back, so he may have to come back here. Yeah, no. Check, protecting, and takes. Yeah, no, that's a possible square, but of course I take here, and the good point is that there is a rook that is threatened here again, and he cannot, like, maybe the best is to simply play it somewhere else. And right now maybe take. The elephant takes and try to get a way to come back with this one, which is not so easy. Maybe, no, the rook is threatened. No, the rook couldn't go here. So yeah, the rook may have to go to that spot. Check. And here the good point is that the knight is not attacked anymore, so I simply can come back and I gain a knight for free. And before that, what was showing Fabian, it was like my combination was completely failing because I forgot this elephant. Let me show you. Yeah, more. Yeah, here. Takes to remove a piece and pin those two, because I only considered that guard take was the only defense, so rook takes, and here simply elephant takes, and red is completely done. Alright, so we are up to 5 victories tonight, and I'm not into playing 2 games more, so I think I will just stop there. That was almost 2 hours. So we could win. Some games were clean and some like a bit less, winning by time or resignation. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that session, and tomorrow I will be doing puzzles at 5 p.m. and that will be a checkmate in 3 moves. So see you tomorrow, maybe, and thanks for everything. Bye.